everyone, this week I'm going to talk to you about the Dr. GREGER How Not to Diet diet, and this is also going to kick off my month of following the diet. But first, let's go and make a coffee. In this video, I'm going to talk you through the diet, because let's be honest, it is a diet. I'll take you through the app, I'll take you through all the different rules to follow, and we'll also do my before measurements and pictures, because starting tomorrow, which will be the 22nd of June, I'm going to be following the diet for exactly 30 days. For those of you who aren't familiar with Dr. GREGER, he's an American MD. He's the founder of nutritionfacts.org. He's the author of those 2 books right there, and he's a really big advocate for a plant-based diet. I read his first book, How Not to Die, a couple of years ago now, and it really has shaped, even to this day, what my idea of a healthy vegan diet looks like. So when he came out with his second book, How Not to Diet, I was straight in there. I actually listened to it as an audio book first, and it was like 13 hours long or something ridiculous like that. But then I did buy the book so that I could refer to it afterwards. There's quite a lot of information in this book. I mean, you can see how thick it is. So I thought having the book to hand would be useful if I needed to refer back to anything. As a bit of a background of me, I've been overweight for literally my entire life, as long as I can remember. And as a teenager, my weight did get me down quite a lot. Now, as I've grown up, I'm 28, I've come to accept the fact that my body exists beyond just looking nice for other people's perspective. And actually over the last 12 months, I've really enjoyed feeling strong and healthy and fit. But I do still think that I probably would be a little bit healthier if I did lose some weight. And another slightly shallow reason for wanting to lose weight is that I would like a bit more muscle definition to show off the work that I've done in the gym over the last 12 months, and with quite a big layer of fat over the top, you can't really see any of it. So going into this, I would be lying if I said I wasn't trying to lose some weight as a result. But that is what the book is for. That's what the whole diet is for. It's intended to be a way to help you to lose weight, but it's supposed to be in a sustainable, long-term way so that you can maintain that weight loss forever. A little bit of a disclaimer up front, I have done this diet before. I did it for the whole month of February, and I did lose some weight during that time. But it does mean that I'm not going into this diet completely blind. I have done it before, so I am quite familiar with the ins and outs of it. On to the diet. Now, as I said, Dr. GREGER is a huge proponent of a plant-based diet, and I'm already vegan, so cutting out animal products or anything like that to follow this diet is not really a concern for me. This diet is centered around plant-based whole foods, so you don't really eat anything processed. And as I mentioned, the book is very long and very detailed, and a lot of scientific research has gone into it. So what I'm not going to do is go into detail about every single piece of advice that's given within the book. You'll have to go and read it or borrow it from your local library like I did. But from what I can see, the diet mainly works because it is centered around low calorie density foods. So you're mainly eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all the stuff that's good for you. But all those things are generally quite dilute in terms of calories. Now, believe me when I tell you that this diet is involved. In simple terms, the basis of the diet is that you eat nothing processed, and other than that, you can eat as much as you want. So from that perspective, it's quite simple. However, there are so many different weight loss boosters, as well as the daily dozen concept, that it can feel quite overwhelming and quite a lot of things to keep track of. Luckily, to help you get your head around the whole thing, there is a completely free app, which is actually really good. And that does help you to keep track of all the different things you need to tick off in a particular day. The first screen on the app is the Daily Dozen screen. The Daily Dozen concept actually comes from the first book, How Not to Die, and that gives you a list of foods that you should be consuming every day. So you've got, I'm reading from the book, you've got beans, berries, other fruits, cruciferous vegetables, greens, other vegetables, flax seeds, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, whole grains, and beverages. There are actually two non-food related things. One is your daily dose of exercise and the other is a daily dose of vitamin B12. Now I actually take a weekly supplement of B12, so that covers me off for that. And then you can also look at the graph within this section to see on average how many of those boxes you're ticking, and hopefully ticking off more and more as you go along. Now the 21 tweaks section is actually where this diet gets both literally and figuratively spicy. And whilst there are 21 of those tweaks, some of them are supposed to be done multiple times a day. So you've actually got in this section 37 boxes to tick off every single day. And as I said, I'm not going to go into the reasoning of every single one of them. And that's because the weight loss boosters section of the diet takes up this much of the book. So more than half of the book is taken up with the so-called weight loss boosters. And if I tried to give you even a short summary of the rationale behind all of them, we'd be here for literally 12 hours. Anyway, this section is split into things to do at every meal, things to do every day, and things to do every night time. Now, I'm filming on my phone, so I can't read off the app on my phone, so I'm going to have to read from the book. So, at every meal you are to preload with water, preload with negative calorie foods, incorporate vinegar, enjoy undistracted meals, follow the 20-minute rule. You are supposed to take daily doses of black cumin, garlic powder, ground ginger or cayenne pepper, nutritional yeast, cumin, and 3 cups of green tea a day. You then need to stay hydrated, deflour your diet, front load your calories, time restrict your eating, optimize your exercise timing, weigh yourself twice a day, and complete your implementation intentions. And then every night you should fast after 7 p.m, get sufficient sleep. And the one I never do is experiment with mild Trendelenburg, which is where you sleep with your feet higher than your head. I can't be bothered with that. One of the most significant things that the diet gets you to do is weigh yourself twice a day. Now, if you've had any past with disordered eating, you're probably going to want to stay well away from that one. But I didn't have any issues with it when I did it last time, so I am going to do that. Some of the things on that list are pretty self-explanatory, like drinking a glass of water before every meal, following the 20-minute rule, which is where you try and make your meal last 20 minutes so that you're not doing something I am very guilty of, which is just shoveling your food down as quickly as you can. Some of them, though, are a bit less self-explanatory. So preloading with negative calorie foods basically means that you either have an apple, a bowl of soup or a salad beforehand, and that's to try and help you get your kind of hunger signalling right. And the other one is your implementation intentions. Now, this is a form of habit production, or a way for you to try and stick to your habits, and it's basically intended to be that rather than you just say, I'm not going to snack anymore, or I'm going to stop overeating at each meal, you write it as a if-then statement. So my ones in the past that I'm probably going to use again are, if I am hungry, I will snack on fruits or vegetables. And I think my other one was, if I'm full during a meal, I will stop eating. Now, especially that second one probably sounds quite obvious to a lot of people, but I'm really terrible for just finishing whatever's on my plate, regardless of whether I'm full or not. And last time I actually found that to be a really helpful hint at getting me back in touch with my hunger and my fullness signals. One of the things I did really enjoy about this diet is that it actually does try and help you to get back into a more of an intuitive eating pattern. Now, for me, that's like the gold standard of eating, but I'm just not there yet. And I think by focusing on a wholly non-processed diet, it does help you to tune out some of the noise and some of the distractions that come along with seeing biscuits in the supermarket or just crisps in your house. In some ways, I am really looking forward to starting this month tomorrow. I think over the last 12, 14, however bloody long we've been in lockdown now, my eating habits have probably fallen by the wayside a little bit in terms of, centering whole foods and eating in the way I know makes me feel my best. So I'm looking forward to having a little bit of a reset. And I really do like the fact that you can eat as much as you want in terms of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans. And I really do like the fact that you can eat as much as you want, because I've got a pretty big appetite and I can eat a lot of food. Let's get into the before pictures and my starting weight. In these videos, I like to give you a few predictions and what I think is going to happen. Now, as I said, I have done this before, so I have got prior experience, and last time I did lose weight. I think I lost about 4 kilos last time, which isn't an insignificant amount of weight to lose in a week, but should be a slow enough weight loss that it isn't particularly drastic. So I think I probably will lose weight again. At least that's kind of the point anyway. Hello everyone, I realised when I was editing this video that I didn't film an outro, so I just wanted to come back to say that you'll have to wait until part 2 of this video to find out how I did on this diet the second time around. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it, and let me know in the comments if you've ever tried to cut out processed food before. Hope you have a really lovely week, and I will see you soon.